What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about XRP today. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. It is the 8th day of February, and here we are sitting at about $1.42. We have roughly, not 52 minutes left in this day. We have 6 hours, 52 minutes left in this day. Also, in this week, we've seen a big wick to the downside. Don't get excited. These big wicks on XRP aren't always the most exciting things. You know, we had a very big wick here, and ultimately the past few months have been disappointing since had a big wick here. And that was nice for a time, but you didn't really get things going until some months later, right? Same thing here. It was nice, but you came down still. You didn't really get things going until months later. So while it is nice to see a wick, and while this could promote a little bit of continuation to the upside, again, it's important to get our expectations in order. This was irrational selling met by fierce purchasing, right? The fierce purchasing is going to go away. The smart money has made their move. Now comes the irrational buying, where, again, irrational buying happens typically is where rational selling happens. Just like irrational selling happens where rational buying happens, right? So again, that's why I think we moved so fast here. There's a lot of emotion, a lot of irrationality being taken advantage of. Now that the markets have had a couple days to chill, where we've adjusted to the prices, people here are less freaked out now than they would have been back here at these exact same prices because we dropped, right? Things are a little bit more stable emotionally. We're probably not going to move at this pace. We're not going to continue moving up at the same pace we've been moving up. Might even pull back a little bit before we continue higher, but I do think that we will proceed higher. We'll probably move back around $2 or even above there before proceeding too much lower. With that being said, it's completely possible that from here, we see a lower low. We get a lower low, and then we start to recover, and then we're on our path to $2. It doesn't have to be from right here. And it doesn't have to be, again, overnight. This can take time. We're at $1.42. We might not be at $2 until the end of March. However that works, however that looks, but that might be the case. It could be sometime in April, but we're still going there. The fast and exciting stuff, I think, we've gotten done with. If not, we might have a little bit more on the way. We could see a little bit more volatility. Again, this doesn't have to be the low, but it's low adjacent if it's not the low. I don't imagine that we go below $1 here, or if we do, probably just barely below $1. And that's not my call. I'm just, again, making you aware in case that happens. That would be, again, and I know that we've just learned this, but man, we are quick to forget. This would be a terrible time to sell, right? Just like this was a terrible time to sell, this would be an even worse time to sell. Because again, still, even if we did this, we'd likely come back up to prices that are even above where we recovered from once it was actually a really good time to buy. So just getting our minds right for that in case it happens. I'm not expecting it to happen. That's not my call. But if it happens, so we're prepared, right? Prepared mentally. Just like let's see. I don't know. Where's a good example of this? Just like here, right? Like, if you wanted to sell, this was a good time to sell. This was not a good time to sell. That was a rational time to buy. Was it the best time to buy? No, there was a better time to buy, but that doesn't mean this was any better time to sell. It was a worse time to sell. It was only a better time to buy, and then we went up higher, right? We weren't low here, but we were low adjacent, and that more or less could be something that we're seeing here. Maybe not with the same end reaction like that. I don't think we're going to see pumps like that happen anytime soon, but maybe. 1 hour time frame if we're looking at this here. Picking up volume on the way down, picking up a little bit of volume on the way up too, though. 1 hour time frame, RSI. It's weird. It's actually kind of weird. But that's what you get when you're moving sideways. What I do like about the RSI, what I'll say is that you kind of had a downtrend here, like lower lows, lower highs, and you've kind of broken out of that. Now you've got this weird kind of wonky, I don't know what you're doing in here. So neutral. Neutral with a bullish accent. Stochastics have reset, which is nice, and the MACD is still taking on a bullish posturing. 4 hour time frame. I would say the RSI overall is bearish. Stochastics are bearish. The MACD is bearish. So it really shouldn't surprise any of us if and when we do actually come back down. Because what we've done, let's just take it for what it is. We sold off, irrational selling. We came back, rational buying. And all we did was we found resistance at prior support. We've since kept that resistance. Not only that, but imagine here, anybody who thought we were in a bull flag, oh, we're breaking out, and the breakout's not doing anything. We're not getting any volume. So I think the false narrative to the upside here with this quote-unquote breakout is probably going to cause people to make the wrong decision. Therefore, we'll go down, right? So my expectation then, or as of now, would be that we do go down at a minimum to $1.36. We're at $1.42, so it's not that crazy, but probably more likely around $1.26, maybe even $1.16. If we go below $1.16, we likely will go somewhere around $1 to 90 cents, somewhere around there. But I'm thinking we will likely find support probably around $1.30 to $1.23, at least $1.36. Yeah. Daily time frame. The RSI, or sorry, the MACD looks bearish, building bearish momentum, very bearish, very bearish with your oscillators too. The stochastics are somewhat bullishly postured here, but overall bearish. And the RSI is overall bearish too. I mean, with the RSI, this idea of getting a lower low really comes to play. So you've got this lower high, lower low kind of dynamic. If we came down and we got a higher low in the RSI, we really could. I mean, all we'd have to do is close below this low here on a daily time frame, and then we'd move up. We'd have like a double bottom and bullish divergence. Again, I'm not calling for that. I don't remember if I called for that yesterday, and I'm sorry if I did, and I'm not. I know I at least mentioned it, but I would still. I'm sticking with the idea that we get a higher low, and I'm sticking with the idea that one way or another, whether we get bullish divergence or not, this downtrend's coming to an end, and we're going to break out of it soon. So that should allow us again to grow past this high. If we go below this low, this might not be the low, but it's low adjacent. This is not the high of this move. When we go from these low points back up, we likely will see prices recover to something around $2, and what will ultimately be just another lower high in this sequence of lower highs. We take a high here, your all-time high, to the low here, the actual low so far, and that'd be right at your 0.5. That's right at your 0.5 Fibonacci retracement. Could we go up to the golden ratio at 232 to 253? Sure, it's possible. I don't think so, but sure, it's something to consider. But going up to about $2, psychological resistance right there, it makes sense to me. And it's the 0.5. We look at this here. We take a high to a low right here. Where did we find resistance before? We didn't even actually make it to the 0.5 before, guys. We got close, but we didn't even make it to the 0.5 before. Whenever we take this high, that same high, and then we put it at like this low here, where do we find resistance? We found resistance right there at the 0.5 twice. Whenever we had our high here, and we take our low, we found resistance at the 0.5, but found support at the 382 and then continue to build. Still showing a lot of resistance at this 0.5 level. So I'm going to guess that's because it lines up with everything else that we've kind of talked about, that $2 area really stands out. And it just makes sense, right? I mean, if you're drawing a straight line down, or trying to at least, right there, probably by the end of the month. And just because we hit that, just because it's our high point, doesn't mean we teleport down here immediately. It took a little bit of time, and we really picked up the pace here. I don't think it'll be as fast. We'll probably consolidate, right, come back up, get a lower high, and then slowly but surely make our way down until it becomes more obvious. I don't know. You know, maybe June or July is whenever it gets its worst, but we'll see as time goes on. I don't expect this to be a slow process to the upside necessarily. I do expect it to be a slow process back down. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.